Well, I've got my tickets for a day return to Leicester from Loughborough, which is £4.55 with a rail card, which isn't bad at all, I don't think. It's a journey that Philip would have made quite often to see his mother, and we're going to make it in the opposite direction from Loughborough. Journey you might well have made quite a few times to visit Monica Jones. London Road Station, which would have been very well known to Larkin. This place of arrival and departure, railway stations usually were. We can explore part of Leicester that Larkin knew. This is 172 London Road, which is the first place that Philip Larkin had lodgings when he moved to Leicester to take up his post as the assistant librarian at the assistant librarian at the University of Leicester, or University College Leicester as it was known in those days. You see, it's a very busy road. I imagine it was probably quite busy when he lived there too. Here we are in Victoria Park. That's probably one of the most famous landscapes in Leicester, and in particular for anyone connected with the university, as the university is just a few minutes walk down the road from here, and it would be a walk that Larkin would have taken on many occasions from his house in Dixon Drive, which is where we're going now. So this, as you can see, is Dixon Drive, where Philip Larkin lived for a tricky period of time with his mother from 1948 until he left to go to Belfast in 1950. They bought a house together here after the death of Sidney Larkin, and lived together in that house for that period of time in relatively unhappy circumstances, at least for Philip. It's a very pleasant, very quiet road. Houses are well kept. Where is number 12? This is it. This is 12 Dixon Drive. They lived here from 1948 until 1950, when Philip took the job up in Belfast, and his mother moved to Loughborough to initially stay with her daughter Kitty, and then buying a house to live on her own in Loughborough. These were unhappy circumstances. For Philip, at least. He didn't enjoy living with his mother here. He described it as a very, very trying time. But Eva loved it, according to her letters. She loved the house and she loved living with Philip. But it's a very pleasant part of Leicester, very quiet. So what I'm going to do now is to find out how long it takes to walk from here, 12 Dixon Drive, to Carisbrooke Road, where Monica Jones was living in lodgings at the time when she first knew Philip. Certainly is a nice day to be walking around, searching out Larkin haunts. Couldn't be a more gorgeous day than this one. Imagine he might have enjoyed this walk to and fro. I imagine he would be escaping from Dixon Drive for a while to the White House. So now we're on Carisbrooke Road, which is where Monica Jones lived in 1950. Well, the numbering is working out okay. I've been past number 12. There's no number 13, but there's some gaps here where the university's Attenborough Arboretum building now stands. So I guess the test is whether we can find number 15 down here. Let's see what happens to the numbers. I'm still on Carisbrooke Road. That's a very big house over there, hidden behind the trees, which is the next one in line. I know that Philip and Monica really did love the White House, so there must have been something very special about it. It's a very large building, that one. So the test is, what number do we find here at the entrance? Could it be? Could it be? It could. It says number 15, though it's called Herrick House now. But that could be it, if the numbering stayed the same, and clearly it has for the houses at the top of the road. So I suspect, though it's very big, and it's not white, this could be the White House. It's a lovely building anyway, more than one building, but could the White House have been part of that, I wonder? I need to find out. But that anyway is number 15 Carisbrooke Road. And number 15 Carisbrooke Road in 1950 was where Monica Jones was lodging in what was called the White House. So behind me is number 8 Woodland Avenue in Knighton Park, which is where Monica Jones lived from 1954 to 1961. It's a gorgeous looking semi-detached house in a lovely quiet spot in Leicester, not very far from the Clarendon pub. So I imagine it was an area that Monica might well have enjoyed living in. It's a lovely house, isn't it? Yeah.
Well, it is lovely.
Yeah. Have you heard of the poet Philip Larkin? He used to live in Leicester, and his long-term girlfriend used to live there. She was a lecturer at the university. So she lived there in 1954 to 1961, so quite a long time ago. But it's quite a nice-looking house, I think. Looks like a pleasant place to live. Semi-detached in a beautiful part of Knighton Park. So this house across the road here is number 1A Crossroad, which is where Monica Jones lived from 1961 to 1972. It's just literally a 1-minute walk from the Clarendon pub, which would have been very convenient. So here I am in the Clarendon pub, which was a familiar haunt for both Philip and Monica when they were together down in Leicester, and also a haunt for Monica when she was here, not exactly on her own, but when she would meet friends and colleagues from the university and elsewhere. It's still very much a student pub, still set out more or less, I think, as it used to be in those days, from what I hear. It's a place where I used to go when I was a student in Leicester too, and it still definitely has a feel of a student pub about it, though at 3:30 on a weekday afternoon there are not many people in here. This is the Old Horse on London Road, which is another pub frequented by Philip Larkin and Monica Jones in the 1950s, the early 1950s, when Larkin was living on Dixon Drive with his mother. In fact, he spent his last night in Leicester before moving to Belfast in this pub with Monica.